Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Professor Loki. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the things I want to be changed in Season 4, altered, deleted, whatever. And before we do go to that, I finally reached 20,000 plus kills on Loki. What you just saw is my stats currently, so that's cool. Finally killed 20,000 people. A little weird to say that, but I've killed 20,000 people. Anyway, so that's a pretty good accomplishment. Pretty good place to actually like retire Loki if season 4 isn't what I've expected to be. So, one thing I'm really excited about in season 4 will be the meta change. That's like really the only thing I'm excited about and disappointed. It depends on what happens. So, let's talk about the things that I want changed first. The relic system. So why do I want the relic system changed? Because I think it's completely stupid that you can get a full tier active at level 1 and another full tier active at level 12. The whole purpose of that was to make the game early game. So I can see how, like, sure, you don't have to spend money anymore, but it makes the game early game, but it also prolongs the game, and I think, because think about this though, right? If I'm Loki and the enemy team buys an Aegis, I can't do anything to that person until their active's burned. So how is it fair that to counter a god, you just I don't think an active should counter an entire god's kit. That's not how I don't think that's how it should be. That's very unbalanced. I'm an assassin. My goal is to 100 you. So why is there an active to completely counter that? That's not fair. Sure, beads counters CC, but my CC can come up as like really fast while my ultimate and all my kit and stuff like that can just be, it's just beads does not make you invincible. Sure, you won't get stunned, but my damage will still apply to you. So I'm fine with that. That's why when people buy beads first item, I'm fine with that because sure, they will avoid my CC, but I can still apply my damage to them. So that's why I really don't banter about beads. And I think it's perfectly reasonable because everyone has CC in their kit, some form of CC, whether it's hard or soft. It's just they have CC, so I fully agree that. But not everyone has burst. People have more damage over time, and then there's burst. Like Loki, Poseidon, and other gods that I can't think of right now are burst characters. They rely to 100 you, but if you have an active that completely counteracts that, then what's the point? I just don't see the point of that. So that's one thing I really want changed about Season 4 would be the relic system. Now, specifically, though, is what I want changed about Aegis is, okay, they Aegis, but make them stand still. I'm tired of chasing around a person for 2 seconds, but by the time after the 2 seconds, either their team has arrived or they got away and their cooldowns got up and they went away. I don't think that's fair. Let me show you an example. In your head, pretend an AMC. This happened to me actually a few games ago, where an AMC has his hives, and hives are, like where an AMC is where his hives are as well. So, I used my entire kit on AMC, right? I didn't know if his Aegis was up or down because I don't keep track of that. I'm sorry, I'm not that. If I'm supposed to keep track of the time, that's not a good thing. So, I thought his Aegis was down, but it apparently was up. So now I didn't know. So I used my entire kit on him, right? And he had like less than 100 HP. He was one auto away at that time. Like it was just one auto away. My autos would deal like 2 to 300, so he'll be legit a one auto away. But he activated Aegis, which he became immune to my dot effect of my one, so he didn't die. But thanks to his hive, he moved 500 plus movement speed, so he was zooming out of the battlefield while I, with my base movement speed of 400 something, I was like, okay, well, how's that fair? My entire kit is down, and he pressed one key, and he became invincible, and he's gonna run away now because he's 10 times faster than me. I don't think that's fair at all. So, while I do want Aegis to be removed from the game, that's not very reasonable, and people are just gonna cry about it. So, I think a very reasonable nerf, and I've asked everyone, and they fully agree with me, that you should stand still when you're activating Aegis. It's stasis. Like, there is like not even League of Legends has something that makes you invincible. They don't have an active or whatever it's called in League of Legends that makes you invincible because that's stupid. Now there is one item that gives you invulnerability, but it makes you invincible for 2.5 seconds, but you're in stasis, meaning that you can't move or you do anything. But with this current Aegis, you can Sanctuary, that's what it's called. You can move around, turn your camera, you can be ready, you can juke for 2 seconds while you're invincible. Sure, you can't attack or use abilities, but that doesn't matter. You're moving around. You can like avoid things. You can avoid dying. And that's why I think it should be changed in season 4. Many people will agree with me because I've asked a lot of people, not just my fan Loki boys or whatever. I don't ask my clan about this stuff because obviously they're going to agree with me because they're Loki players. But I asked people like Okami who mains Fenrir who's not a burst character. I've asked Duke Sloth. I've asked many other people. Like I just having like well I mean I'm not gonna say their name, but a person legit just wants the active removed in general. So I'm like, while I do think it'll benefit me if Aegis was removed. I'm fine with that, but I gotta look at both perspectives because sure, I understand like if a Ymir ults, you activate Aegis, but is that really fair? For instance, if a Ymir ults you and you're still in the ult, how he ults you. Let him ult you. Like it's your fault that you were caught in that position where he had to ult you. So it's not fair for you to press an active and completely be invincible about it. And I just think that if someone uses an ult on you, it should be applied to you. Like now, I'm not saying to make every ult unavoidable. There are ways to avoid ults. Jump, not get frozen, don't get close to Ymir. If you're a mage and Ymir freezes you and ults you, you deserve to get ulted because that's bad positioning. And if Ymir blinked, he had to use an active to do all that stuff, and you avoid it all by pressing an active. That ain't fair. And there's people who already have leaps who has Aegis. Like I think it's funny how a lot of characters have really good escapes and they still buy Aegis because it's just funny. Like people rely on that active too much, and that's what I don't really like about it. Every time I hold down the tab button to see the scoreboard, all I see is beads Aegis, beads Aegis, beads Aegis, beads Aegis. Like I just like think you might as well just remove every active in this game and just have beads and Aegis because that's what everyone's gonna get. Now besides Guardians and Warriors, right? But everyone else, beads Aegis, beads Aegis. Like that's so like oh man, I can't figure out the words, right? But it's like if you hope you guys I hope you guys get the idea what I'm talking about though. It's just so repetitive. It's not there's no diversity at all. Now in season 1 and 2, beads had two purposes. It can give you cooldown reduction and it can give you CC immunity. So you can choose really, like not choose, but it was all in one. But you can use it for cooldown or you can use it defensively for the CC immunity. You know, so in Aegis 2, there was one that makes you stand still, gives you damage reduction afterwards, and the one allows you to move around. But nobody picked that because people prefer to be standing still and get damage reduction afterwards, which is perfectly fine. So, so that's what I want in season 4 to be changed. Now, let's go talk about another problem: cooldown. So in season 2 to 3, they made it where you can't just get cooldown reduct. You can't get full cooldown, 40% cooldown reduction with 2 items. But what? You still can! You ever heard of Breastplate of Valor with Yon's Wrath? Have you ever heard of Breastplate of Valor with Chronos Pendant? You can still get 40% cooldown. So I don't see the point of that. Hi-Rez wanted to make it where it requires 3 items to get full cooldown reduction. And yet I still see Chronos Pendant and Breastplate. Like, it's just, if you're a mage, you might as well get Breastplate of Valor and cooldown reduction. Because not only you'll get 40% cooldown, but you'll also get defense and mana. It's like a perfect deal. So I just, man, Hi-Rez, come on. So that's really bothers me. I'm like, really? So I can't get full cooldown because I can't, it's just, I have to get Hydras and Yones and that's not full cooldown. Now 35 out of 40 is kind of still full cooldown, but still, I'm just like, really, Hi-Rez? They should really reduce the Breastplate of Valor from 20 to 15. Everything should be 15 or 10, not 20, because that's half automatically cooldown reduction. That's, oh my god, that's 20% from one item. That's ridiculous. So that should one thing to be changed as well. I don't believe you should get. I definitely agree. It's either you can't get full cooldown reduction with 2 items, or you can get full cooldown reduction with 2 items. One of the two, not both. Like it's just if you're a tank, if you're a warrior, you get full cooldown reduction. If you're not a tank, if you're not a warrior, if you're not a mage. I mean, sure, mages and assassins can get full cooldown reductions, but not every character can go do that though. Like Loki can't get breastplate and Yon's Wrath because you can, but your damage is gonna be reduced so much. It's just then you can't 100 people. So it's like I don't know. I don't see the point of that. So I just want one of the other high res, not both. So now another problem, and that's the biggest thing. This will determine whether I play or whether I continue playing Smite or not. So in season four, if if season four becomes another tank healer, oh, I'm fine with healer. I'm fine with healing meta because there's things to counter that. But if you have, but I'm so against a tank meta. I'm sick and tired of a tank meta. So in season three, I did not have fun at all this entire year. I even quit ranks like months, like more than 8 months ago, because of Soul Eater, Golden Bow, and also just pure tank. The amount of this is like sustained meta, or in defense meta. It just bothers me. Now, now what I want to be changed would be make it where you can't, because I get, okay, so high res separated the idea of having defense plus health, such as back then Nemean Lion gave you like 200 300 health and gave you like 60 physical protections or something like that. They wanted to separate it. They want to make it where you have to buy two items and to get the full package, so it's no longer two in one combo. You can no longer get defense and health in one item. And yet I still see Mystical Mail being two in one, Hide the Urchin being two in one, Mid Guardian being two in one. Like I'm still like Sovereignty and Heartward being two in one. Like I don't get it. It's just Hyris says one thing, but they're like being hypocrites about it. I mean, they're contradicting. Like I don't know. Maybe I missed something, but all I know is Hyres wanted to separate the two in one package deal, and there's an entire tree that gives you all health, and there's an entire tree that gives you all defense, such as the Nemean line currently that gives you 0 health and 90 physical protections. I'm fine with that, but the problem is that there's still items such as Hide the Urchin, Mystical Mail, and all other things that still gives you two in one, and also because if you're a warrior and guardian, your base health is automatically higher than every squishy. So it doesn't matter if you get health or not with that item. If you get Nemean Line on a warrior, it still acts as a two in one combo because you're a warrior. Your base health is higher than everyone's. So you're still getting the two in one package. So I just don't get it. But also, if you want this game, I don't know if Hi-Rez intentionally wants this game to be more fast-paced, because I think this game needs to be a little faster, in my opinion. If faster, in my opinion, I think an average game of Conquest should not be 30 minutes, but 20 minutes. I don't know, that just makes the game faster, because, let's be honest here, Conquest is a huge farming simulator, and I just don't like that. That's why I play Clash, because you can avoid the laning phase, and just go right into the objective and killing. Now, I don't like Arena, because it's only killing, and I don't like Assault, because it's only killing. I mean, you can't really, go behind something. You can't. There's no. It's like there's like a straight on siege attack. Like I like siege, but the siege game mode itself is kind of iffy, and it's getting a redone. I know that it's getting a new map, which is pretty cool. I heard also domination's is coming back in a different way, so that's all good. I'm excited for that in season four. But all I'm saying, guys, is if season four becomes another tank or an anti-burst meta when you can get Aegis at level 1, or you can get like 100,000, like a million defense in one item and then a million health. Like think of it like this, though, right? If you're a mage, you can get a Warlock Sash that gives you 600 health with full stacks, more than like what 110 power at full stacks as well. And you can get Breastplate of Valor, which gives you 20% cooldown and 75 physical protection. Automatically, you will look like a tank. You will be someone who has more than 2,000 HP, and you will have more than 100 physical defense. And you'll still deal a lot of damage. Like, what? How come I can't do that? But I don't know. That's one thing that just really gets me going. Now, here are some extra things or minor things I might want changes. So for season 4, these are like little fun changes, or maybe like, please change kind of things. But for example, I want stacking to be removed from the game. I think stacking really ruins the early game. And, as much as Hi-Rez says, I want the game to be more early game based, but yet people stack because that ruins the early game. Whenever I see Hunter builds Transcendence, I'm like, well, he's going to be completely irrelevant until late game. So that's good to know. Or if I see a mage getting Warlock Satch, I'm like, well, he's completely irrelevant as well. I don't want stacking items to be a thing. It ruins the early game. I want early game, guys. Just full unpacked early game. Like, I just want action to happen early to late. Not just farm early, do something in mid, and then action late. That's not what I really like about the game. So that's why I don't build stacks on Loki anymore. And it's not just because of that, also because Trance just sucks on Loki now, thanks to the Hydra's buff. But I just really against stacking. Another thing would be really cool is I want the fog to be added in season 4. Yeah, I didn't play in season 0 where, like, I've never played the old beta map. I really wanted to. I really wish I knew about Smite back then, so it would have had a lot more fun. But it's just, man, I want the fog system back. When you're in Conquest, you can legit look through the entire jungle and you can see what's going on the other side. Like, it's a jungle. Let it be jungle. Let it be risky. I hate it when people can just walk in the jungle like it just doesn't matter. If you walk in the jungle, you risk of being ganked, killed, or whatever. I want that to happen. I want people to fear the jungle. That's what it's supposed to be about. A scary. But now I can just be like, oh, I'm just gonna walk in the jungle. Like I just don't care. That's basically how it is today. If you walk in the jungle, you're not really scared because you can see what's going on. It's just I don't know. The fog would really add really cool element of surprise, and I think that would be really fun for a Loki main such as myself to play as well. I think Loki jungle would be a lot more fun if you do that. Um, Now again, people tell me like, oh, it causes people to crash, but I'm pretty sure with today's technology, you can figure out a way to, make the fog less, more compatible in more devices. So that's something I would want to be added. Is there anything else? Let's see. No. Oh yeah, make more gods that are less good at everything. Looking at you, Sasano. Yeah, make gods that are good at one thing and bad at the other. Not all like I'm tired of all-in-one packages just in general. So. That's really about it, guys. That's really about my rant. All I'm saying is, if season 4 becomes another tank meta, I'm quitting Smite. I'm not going to go through another year of, being crushed to death by a tank. No, I'm good. If I build pure power, I expect someone to die. That's basically how it works. Oh well. Selfish request, but that's gonna be about it, guys. If you have any comment, questions, or concerns, please post it down below. And as always, I'll see you all Loki and non-Loki players next time.